There we go.
What is your level of concern that Ukraine and Europe are not part of these Russia-U.S. negotiations?
I don't know what the scheme is. There may very well be a method to all of this. My position is that anything meaningful, any sort of peace talks that might get a fair result would definitely need to have the Ukrainians at the table and make sure that European interests are considered and carefully weighed.
Do you think that Putin can be trusted in these negotiations?
No. Putin is a war criminal and should be in jail for the rest of his life, if not executed.
Because Trump thinks that he wants peace, that Putin wants peace.
Well, I read a pamphlet back when I was in junior high called You Can Trust the Russians. And then parenthetically, it was to be clearly on their side and to violate the rule of law. I think that's what we can trust the Russians to do, is to do anything to their advantage, to take temporary steps. But Vladimir Putin has violated every tenet of international law, and it should be indicted and prosecuted and jailed, possibly executed.
How big of a blunder was it to take off for Hegseth to take out the NATO-Ukraine issue off the table?
Well, I made a statement about that, and let me just say, Secretary Hegseth and I spoke while he was in Poland and I was in Munich, and I think to the extent that his subsequent statement was somewhat of a walk back, that was a favorable development. But Pete Hegseth and I are getting along fine.
You still have confidence in him?
Absolutely, yes.
And do you have any concerns after being there about the stability of the NATO alliance, given what the U.S. is doing with Russia?
The NATO alliance is very important. We've been drawn into two bloody wars, massive, killing conflagrations in the last 100 years. Even though many Americans and many chiefs of state said we would not be participating, somehow we were drawn into it. I think the best way for a European general war to be avoided that would eventually cause us to become involved is to ensure that the rule of law that's been observed for 70 years in Europe be enforced and protected. That's why we have NATO. That's why the European Union exists. So thank you.
Do you think that Trump is undercutting NATO in any way?